What is up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again. Guys, we have the super exclusive 2-pack set for Kyle Larson, including his Indianapolis 500 race car and his Coca-Cola 600 race car that was driven by Justin Allgaier. But we're going to pretend he turned a lap in it in 2024. I'm kidding. Regardless, this is one of the coolest things to come out of the 164 scale in 2024. Look at the box design. I mean, look at that. You got the 5, the 17, the, what is it, the orange? Is it orange or is it like a burnt yellow? I don't know. You got the white and the blue. Fantastic looking piece. I'm going to go ahead and carefully open up this 2-pack set. But first, let's take a closer look at it, fellas. All right, fellas. So we got the rotating base out of the studio. I want to take a closer look at this box design. Look, I harp a lot on this channel about box design. So when they actually do these creative box designs, I want to give them some love. Massive W, Lionel. Oh my goodness, amazing job. And yes, I know green light technically helped out a little bit because, you know, does it say green light or no? Okay, so that's actually interesting. So technically it's a action diecast, but I don't see green light. That's interesting. Regardless, the box design is beautiful. I wish the 2025 box design was this exact color palette, but just different colors. So if it was like Chase Briscoe in the Bass Pro Shops car, replace the blue with, like, I don't know, bright orange, and replace the white with maybe gray, and then the orange could be camo. I don't know. Something like that. Regardless, so you got HendrickCars.com here. You got your action racing collectibles. You got Coca-Cola 600 on the box. That is really cool. I got IndyCar Cup Series 164 scale, the Hendrick 17, Kyle Larson with the number 5. You have the Kyle Larson boxes there. Indy 500, H1100 Kyle Larson. Unfortunately, he only got about half of that. Gotta love the weather, unfortunately. Arrow McLaren IndyCar team, Hendrick Motorsports. I mean, just look how cool this looks, man. This screams early 2000s, like display or 4-pack sets or whatever they had back then. I mean, this is just so cool, man. I love it. Fantastic job. Whoever actually designed this, I'm assuming it's Action/Lionel, but if Greenlight did it, mad props to them. The official name for this is the, oh my goodness, it is very difficult to read. HendrickCars.com Indy/Charlotte qualifying 164 2-pack. So technically he did drive this car because it's qualifying, right? But unfortunately, he couldn't even get, I don't even think he turned the car on before they had to cancel the race because of humidity. Do that with what you will. But I'm going to go ahead and carefully open this now. So if you just got this set, maybe you're a younger fan and you're curious how these box sets are open. So there's going to be 2 little tabs right here. You can see it right here, that little shiny crest, if you will. There's 2 of them. What you're going to want to do is carefully cut that. If you're a younger fan, get someone to help you with that, of course. But if you're of age, you're going to want to cut that right there and there carefully. So that way you don't damage your box. If you try to peel it, it's going to tear it. You don't want that. So you just better just cut it. And then this little plastic thing actually slides out. They did something very similar for the Kyle Busch 5-pack. So I'm going to try to show you how to open this up for the fans. So we're going to carefully grab an X-Acto knife. If you're a younger fan, these things are extremely sharp. So highly, highly, highly recommend having supervision. So we're just going to carefully cut that. And then we're going to go to this side. And come on now. There we go. Carefully. Perfect. Okay. So now that we have that, now we're just going to slowly pull the tab. And then this little plastic piece is kind of tucked in here. There's a little slot where it cuts, lets this little piece come out. And I think it might have some adhesive too. All right, so if you're curious how that little thing comes off, it actually kind of peels apart, but what you're going to do is you're going to actually damage the cardboard a little bit here. This little piece torn, I'm going to probably retape that back. But regardless, it does come off. But if you do it, be extremely careful. I mean, like, you got to, like, peel it. Like, if you're trying to peel a sticker off of, like, a used video game case, you got to be, or like a, I don't know, just something that's very fragile, a piece of paper or something, because it can rip it very easily. And yeah, it's a little bit bent there, but my point is when I go to display this after the review's done, I don't want that little hanging thing there, so that's why I took it off. Now I'm going to actually open this thing up for real and show you how this this multi-pack set is actually done. So you have this plastic tray And let me get the camera portion real quick. There we go. All right, so let's get the cutting tool out of the way. You have this plastic tray that just slides right out, and it's a cocoon for both of your die casts. That is so freaking cool. All right, so the first die cast we're actually going to review is the Kyle Larson one. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. All right, folks, so we have the die cast out of the, well, large box here. And one thing that I noticed right off the bat is there appears to be a sticker that is placed on top of where the original age location is. If I had to guess, on the original Kyle Larson, I don't know, what do you call this? The H1100 paint scheme, whatever the biff they're coining it as. They had age, 3 or 4 plus. And somewhere in 2024, they moved that up to 6 plus. Technically, early 2025 is when this is released, but manufactured in 24. What I'm trying to say is that instead of them making a brand new box and having to redo all that, they just put a little sticker on there. Some people might say that's actually cheap, and the diecast industry of yesteryear would never do that. Go look at 2004, Johnny Sauter, I think it was. They actually taped over, on the 124 scale diecast, they taped over his name rail, and I think replaced it with Jeff Burton. Something like that. So it's been done before the diecast industry. It's nothing new. Anyways, we got the 164 here, and it has the same tag as the back of the box, so it doesn't say individually. I just wanted to show the box quickly, real quick. It is a beautiful diecast box. I'm going to go ahead and pop it out now. And here we go, folks. What a beautiful looking paint scheme. Honestly, I hope they run it again in 2025. It's such a cool looking car. And what's crazy is the absolute history of this paint scheme in 2024. In my opinion, this is going to be Kyle Larson's most iconic paint scheme possibly of his whole career, because there's so much storyline to it. He was going to run the double. He was going to have an amazing day. He was going to have one of the most spectacular days in just motorsports history, running the double, being at the prime of his career, basically everything, right? And then the weather happens. And then he couldn't run the Coke 600. And then he loses points, and that affects his championship hopes and all this crazy stuff. Had a great run going at Indy, didn't pan out. And then this paint scheme, all the hype, all the pageantry, it was built up for a year, right? Where they officially revealed it. I think it was years in advance, but they officially revealed it a year prior to the race just about. And then they're like, well, we couldn't run the car. They paid all this money for the advertising and stuff. So they brought it to Indianapolis in the Brickyard 400. What does Kyle Larson do? He wins the Brickyard 400. So ladies and gentlemen, that means we're probably going to get 3, maybe 4 variants of this paint scheme released. Incredible stuff. So you have the patriotic windshield banner. Technically, this is the Justin Allgaier diecast, because I think this is the only version, or it's one of 2 versions of the Coca-Cola 600 paint scheme. So you have the patriotic banner there. HendrickCars.com, you have the front end of the car. Very, very cool. I like the design with it. I think they call this papaya. I think that's the orange color they coined it as. Fantastic looking front end. Got number 5. You got the, Hendrick Motorsports Sudoku. You have your patriotic tires, which I think say honor and remember. Let me try to adjust the brightness. There we go. We hold the car so it's not shaking like crazy. But I mentioned there's probably 3 or 4 variants of this car being made. You had the Brickyard 400 race to win, which is like guaranteed to get made. I'd be absolutely floored if it doesn't. And so you have that variant. That's one. You have this one right here, which is officially coined as the qualifying one. It's honestly probably going to be his Coke 600 paint scheme by most fans. That's what they're going to call it as. But technically, since he didn't race it in the Coca-Cola 600 in terms of statistically, it's only his qualifying car. So this is basically the patriotic version of it. Need some context? Look at the 2023 Ryan Blaney patriotic car. You have the race to win. It has all the patriotic graphics, X, Y, and Z. And then you have the standard version that doesn't even have the NASCAR Salutes logo, which was released, I think, about 1 to 2 months prior to the Coca-Cola 600 in 2023. Well, they did the same thing with Kyle Larson in 2024 as they released his 2024 paint scheme. I know I keep saying that word or that number a lot. They released it right at the end of 2023. it was the first year 24 diecast to be made. I know that's a lot to digest, but what I'm trying to get get my point across is there's probably 3 variants of this paint scheme, maybe even 4. So when you think about the long-term collectability, a lot of Larson fans are going to see a lot of this paint scheme. Got Kyle Larson there, your 2 race win stickers, Valvoline, Hendrick 40th, got your B post decal, HendrickCars.com. Beautiful looking paint scheme. There's a little bit of a decal oopsie-doo there, but you know what? I could care less. This car's awesome. Got the number 5 right there with that little touch of papaya. And I don't know about you, but if you just squint just a little bit, that orange, blue, and white, I'm smelling some Terry Labonte Kellogg's Frosted Flakes Chevrolet, if you know what I'm saying, because he had the orange and blue number 5 rocking in the early 2000s. Got Goodyear Cup Series NASCAR salutes. Go to the back end of the diecast. Got the Camaro decal. Yeah, as you can see, it's a little bit droopy there. That's unfortunate. The HendrickCars.com logo appears to have kind of like a gradient transition on the outside. And what I think it is the outlining to it is supposed to be gray, and I don't think they made the gray dark enough. So from a naked eye, it looks like a blurry HendrickCars.com, but I think it's actually supposed to be a light gray outline. Go over to the right side of the diecast. It's such a good-looking paint scheme, too. And what I love about like Kyle Larson in the Cup Series is he's really a throwback. He runs the same paint scheme every single week, and people complain about that. 20 years ago, every driver did that. Mark Martin, Bobby Labonte, Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Tony, you know what I'm saying? Everybody ran the same paint scheme 30 weeks out of the year, and then they would have 6 alternates or something like that. You look at like a driver like a Ryan Preece, a Eric Almirola the last few years, and how many paint schemes they would have in a season. A Noah Gragson, a AJ Allmendinger when he's ran full-time in Cup. I mean, my goodness, every single week they got a paint scheme. So Kyle Larson and the Hendrick Cars program is a throwback of throwbacks. And this car, the pageantry, the build-up to it, it was so old school, man. It felt like one of those 2000s promotions, you know, the Looney Tunes cars, the Dale Jr. All-Star cars. They did an amazing job with it. Got the number 5 right there on the roof, Errol McLaren, and the H1100 Kyle Larson. Larson once again, and HendrickCars.com on the deck lid. What a fantastic looking paint scheme. Love it. Which one that I would recommend out of all the ones coming out? I would get all 3 of them if you're a Larson fan. What's probably going to happen is one of the 3 are going to be very difficult to find. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be the clean, non-patriotic version. I don't know. If this is exclusive only to this 2-pack set, which I'm not sure if it is, this one could be the hardest one to find years from now. I fully expect the Brickyard win to not only get the Winter Circle edition, but also the Gold Series edition of it. Who knows? I'm going to go ahead and get the IndyCar diecast out. I'll be right back. All right, let's go ahead and open up the IndyCar diecast. Go ahead and pop it out of the box. And this is my first time doing a diecast review of a Gold Series style 164 IndyCar box. I'm going to say, these things are so cool. Not only are they a little bit shorter, right? You can see the comparison here. The box design's a little bit sleeker. The box is just a fraction, maybe. I mean, just literally a fraction longer of the box as well, you can see. So we're talking about a quarter of an inch, perhaps. But my favorite thing about it is the interior of the box is decorative. Could you imagine getting a race to win 164 and like in the background they have Victory Lane? You know, it could be like, I don't know, Kansas, and it has like the Kansas logos in the background. Bro, they could go crazy with that. I'm going to show you how these open up. If maybe you're a NASCAR fan and you've never had one of these, we're gonna learn this together. I've never opened one of these. I guess you'd call them more of a promo style IndyCar box, but they open up just like the NASCAR ones, I'm sure. You do have this cardboard insert, so I'm going to check this out. Oh, look at that. They even have the number 17 on there. Bro, I'm telling you, look at this, man. That is so cool. I'm telling you, this is such a cool set. If you have not picked this up, guys, what are you doing? Tap in, go to Circle B, get yours while you can. This is going to be a hot seller. It is a tight fit in the box as well. So we're going to gently tow the diecast out. Again, it's a tight fit. There we go. Oh my goodness. This is going to be cool. Look at this thing, bro. This thing's awesome. I'll be right back. Let me get the studio cleaned up. Here we go, folks. Outside of the diecast box. Man, let me tell you, these IndyCar paint schemes are so freaking cool. Wow. The papaya orange, that blue, the little white nose cone there. I mean, my goodness, man. What an awesome livery, bro. So much to like about it. And that little design on the wheels that Arrow McLaren does, that is just beautiful stuff. So, as we've done in the past with the IndyCar Diecast reviews, we start on the nose cone here. And look at that gold Chevrolet badge. That is so cool, man. Over here to the nose of the car, the number 17 right there, Valvoline. You got the Chevrolet decal. We got the Mission Foods right there, NTT IndyCar Series, the Lara. Got the front nose cone tip with a little white design. That is very cool. HendrickCars.com, all over the front winglet. Very, very sharp. Now, this is the oval arrow kit. For the ones out there who don't watch IndyCar racing, they have two main arrow kits. The road course kit, which has a much larger spoiler, and then you have the there's a different front wing as well. But for the oval kit, you have this, where it's more of an aerodynamic spoiler and a more aerodynamic front end to maximize speed in the corners and the straightaways. Now, I think this car is actually painted. I don't think it's actually decal wrapped, and you could see right here, there is a lot of blue that appears to be kind of blurred. So I'm thinking this is actually mostly sprayed, like spray painted. You can even see a little bit of blue gradient there where the orange and the blue meet. I thought IndyCar diecasts were not spray painted. I thought they were more wrapped. So although that is a little bit of a factory error, it does show you the logistics of how these are made. You got Firestone Firehawk Indy 500 tires. That's so cool, man. Got NTT data. Oh my goodness, Firestone, something. I mean, look how small some of these contingencies are, man. I mean, my goodness, these IndyCar diecasts are work of art. Chevrolet right there, H1100, Firestone. Got your arrow screen. I can barely even read it. Got Smart Stop or Smart Shop, one of those. HendrickCars.com, Chevrolet, NTT IndyCar Series, PPG, Mission Foods. Get your fuel insert, HendrickCars.com. Once again, go to the back end of the diecast here. I love these IndyCars. They're so cool. And the wheels are that rubber, right? You have like rubber tires with a plastic actual rim. It's interesting how the rear wheels are different than the front in terms of the size. That is a little difference with it. Then you have the rear wing, Hendrick Cars. Once again, go to the right side of the diecast. A little bit more cleaner on this side in terms of the paint, which, I mean, they've done that in the past with 164s where they put the car into kind of a mold, if you will, or a masking mold, and they'll spray paint certain portions. They usually do it with the spoilers. So like on this Kyle Larson here, they'll take this car and they'll tuck it into a mold, and the only thing that's visible is the spoiler, and then they'll just spray it with a little airbrush in the factory, and then they pull the car out. And they do this for thousands of cars, but it's just a simple process. It allows them to paint certain areas that would be near impossible to wrap. Go to the top of the diecast, and just you can kind of see inside the cockpit of the car, that papaya orange, I believe that's what they call it. And I've noticed in 17 here, it looks almost metallic on the nose cone. I don't know why, but it looks a lot more shimmery. Fantastic job, man. Green light collectibles, you can see right there on the bottom of the car. Fantastic stuff. Absolutely. This diecast set is remarkable, guys. Guys, if you've not picked up this 2-pack qualifying set for Kyle Larson's 2024 Indianapolis and Coke 600 double, what are you doing, man? One of the coolest diecast sets I have ever seen. If you're an old school NASCAR fan, this diecast set reminds me so much of the early to mid 2000s promotional sets where they might do 3 DEI cars. They might have all the Jeff Gordon paint schemes. Just these different, unique, box set designs for the 164 collectors they used to do all the time. Fantastic stuff, guys. Highly recommend it. I have no idea how many they're making of these. Usually, if a NASCAR 164 is involved, it's about 2,500. I don't know if it's less because Greenlight, produced the IndyCar diecast for it. Who knows? Who knows? What I'm trying to say is don't miss out. Pick up your copy today. And this is one little thing to also think about. You're also going to be competing with the IndyCar collectors that are going to be wanting this. So it's not just NASCAR diecast collectors, it's IndyCar fans as well. So that's two motorsports demographics of collectors that would want this diecast set. It's a piece of not only NASCAR history, but Indianapolis history as well. That is all for now. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you do happen to pick this diecast set up, make sure you use promo code Diecastbuffet over there at Circle B Diecast. It can help you save some money on shipping and help the channel out as well. That is all for now. Diecastbuffet signing off.